Okay, we need to start. So, as far as we are concerned, we are now in a lawless state. UK is a lawless state. A state of treason exists, and I think the evidence for that is actually overwhelming. But the key point at the moment is that events in the country are moving very quickly, and we don't have much time. So we are going to be saying to you today, we haven't put this on to entertain you. The aim is, at the end of the day, you as a body of people, individuals, leave this hall knowing that you're going to do something. Because we know there's well over 300 people here. 300 people can become 3,000 people, can become 30,000 people. You have to do it, I have to do it, we have to do it. But we have to start doing things because we are basically being hunted. Now, I'm going to flash through some slides here because what I normally do probably in 45 minutes, I'm going to do in about 45 seconds. But let's just think about what's happening. Around us, somebody is hunting us. And I'm going to say, think of a fishing net. There's many different types, but they all work on the same principle. Some of them slightly different mesh size, some of them different materials. Some of them don't even look like nets. And this is the problem that often when a net is closing around the fish, they don't recognize it. They don't see what's happening because they only see a tiny part of the picture. What happens ultimately? The fish is ensnared, and with big nets, a very large number of people can be ensnared. And this is what is happening in our society. There is a huge attack on our minds. So let's just look at some of these slides. We've got national papers would have us believe that squirrels are responsible for global warming. This was not April Fool's. We've got a senior military officer who's talking nonsense. He's talking about thinking to win, a strategy to define, optimize, communicates far more than being a strategy. It's a real strategy. This is nonsense, hypnotic language. We've got an organization called Common Purpose that has worked to help suppress the media and the press. That's what Leveson was all about. And if you're paying attention to the press at the moment, they're having another go at saying there needs to be controls on the press and media, and now they're talking about closing down investigative journalism. This is the path to a police state. And it's all there when we know where to look at it, look for it. This is Fabian's society, mutual action, common purpose, empowering the third sector. And David Cameron's big society is the police state. It always was. This is communitarianism, if you want to be precise. But everything was there. National citizenship mixed in with big banks and big money all around Saul Alinsky. This was one of the UK column diagrams. We've shown all the elements of it. Big society is real. It is a big lie. It is nothing about giving more power to ordinary people. It is about taking more power by the state. This is happening everywhere, in every local authority, across every charity group. Here is the government's behavioural insights team. How many of you know about that? A few. This is a multi-million-pound team to change the way we think. It's been so successful, they boast they can change the way we think and behave without us knowing it's been done. It is so successful, they've sold this technology to the Americans and the Australians. So, we know that there is something very nasty going on in government, and if you pull the pieces apart, you find, of course, the politicians are controlled by bankers. And what sort of politicians are running the country? Here's two of them. This is the state of British politics. Brooks Newmark and Chris Bryant, the Reverend Chris Bryant. Here's another politician. And if anybody in this room thinks this man was innocent, he most clearly was not. This is the state of British politics, utter filth. And it's obvious. And we have ladies like Yvette Cooper running an inquiry into the child abuse inquiry. Why is the child abuse inquiry in chaos? Because it was never supposed to work, because they have to protect the paedophiles in government. Here she is, Harriet Harman, once leader of the Labour Party at one stage. She campaigned for pornographic photographs of children to basically be okay. She worked with links to Pi and Pal, paedophile organisations, and yet these are the people in power, and we wonder why the country's in such a state. Here's Keith Vaz, a little bit of naughtiness with rent boys and drugs, but he's now on the Justice Committee. These people are mocking us. They are laughing because at the moment the British public is too busy watching TV and reading magazines. Here's the truth. What does Eric Pickles say? He's a revolutionary. He is going to revolutionize this country. He's going to change our constitution. This man is very, very dangerous. He's laughing at us. Here we are, soft power. What does that mean? It means they're not interested in any form of democracy. They're going to do it anyway. And here's danger which I just can't express. This is a local Plymouth MP, Gary Streeter. He says he's got people coming to him saying that privatisation of the NHS is conspiracy theory. He says it's conspiracy theory. But this is what he says as a Christian. He says, each of us must decide for ourselves our own version of truth. This man does not believe in truth. This is unbelievably dangerous. And behind it is the money. So our public assets are being plundered. It's easy to show. There is a solution. Justin and David Pidcock are going to be talking about money, but we know the Bradbury Pound can help. Here they are. Wars, misery, poverty, people without jobs. We are sitting watching these people destroy us and our community, and it's time for them to go. We've warned. We've called them publicly in print domestic terrorists, and that is what they are. Let's listen to how it's done.
Anyone with any sense who was in trouble would come to the witness and tell them the truth and say, no, I'm in a jam, can you help? It might be debt, it might be a scandal involving small boys, or any kind of scandal which a member seemed likely to be mixed up in. They'd come and ask if we could help. And if we could, we did. And we would do everything we can, because we would store up brownie points. That sounds a pretty nasty reason, but it's one of the reasons. Is if we can get a chap out of trouble, then he'll do as we ask forevermore.
Do as we ask forevermore. We can blackmail people who are child abusers, and he's prepared to say it on camera. What is wrong with Westminster? We have blackmailers using child abuse to run government. That is the state of Britain today. Here's Melanie Shaw. She whistleblew on child abuse. She's in prison. She still doesn't know what the charge is against her. She's still in prison. We've got 300 plus Syrian children disappeared in this country. Nobody is interested. The police are not interested. And this is what the police announced yesterday, that they want to be able to arrest people without making any public statement. These are three people. John Harris, you might know. Corinne Gouget, very brave lady, campaigned against aspartame. And a man you won't know called Jonathan Gill, who gave us a huge amount of help. All three of them are dead. They committed suicide because what is happening in this country was too much for them. This man fought for his country. He's still in prison. War is not nice. What he did was not nice. Does he deserve to be in prison for it? No. So, You want to do something about it, you have got to work together. You have got to work with each other, otherwise it fails. And this is it. We've got to reassert the law. That's God's law. We've got to take control of the money supply system. And ultimately, the pen is mightier than the sword. We do not need violence. We need people in large numbers to act. And you've got the voice. You need to speak out. We've started today. I'm going to introduce the next speaker, who is John Bingley, who's going to talk to us about the Constitution. He has modified a talk that he normally does in order to focus on today's topic. Give him a round of applause, please. But we need to get going.